Now in this example, we're told that a number of women were asked how many siblings they had. So the first thing we're asked to do is to construct a frequency table. In constructing a frequency table, we need to have a column for the score, and the score in this case is the number of siblings. We need to take a tally of how many women have the number of siblings that we're going to count, and then we convert that to a frequency. So when you look at your data here, you can see that we're starting with 0, and it looks like we're going through right up to 5. So we'll put 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And what we want to do is we want to go around and we count each one of these and mark them in our table. So I've got 1, 4, 1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 3, another 2, another 4, and we just got to be careful as we're doing these so that we don't inadvertently mark the wrong number in the wrong part of the table. And if you're careful in doing these, you won't miss any numbers at all, and you will be able to complete the information correctly. And once you get to 5, you just go across, and that simply means when you're counting them all up, that straight away represents the number 5. And so it's a good idea to be aware of that as you're counting. And then number 1, another 1, another 1, and again now that's a 5, a second one for the 5. Now we start 5, that would be 6 for a 2. We're on to 5, back onto the 0. We're starting on 1, and that'd be 6 there, so now will be 2, and then the 1, 5 for zeros, 8 on a 1, 6, and I'll just finish these off quickly, and then I'll show you what we do next. And now you can see I've got 10 of 1 straight away, so I was able to, it'll be easy to complete in a minute. So now we've done all the tally of all the numbers, and you notice there I haven't missed any, and now we can complete the frequency. So this straight away is 5, that's 10, 8, 9, 5 and 3. So what that means is that there are 5 women who have no siblings, 10 women who've got 1, etc. And remember we're asked to construct a frequency table, and so with the frequency table we have done this, and normally what we do is we complete the frequency table by putting in the total, because we're not told how many women, so when you add this up it tells you how many women all up were surveyed, which would be the same number of women that would be in our table here. So let's quickly do an addition of this table. So that's 8 and 9, 17, 25, 35, 40. Quickly here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 by 4, which would be 40, which shows that I've actually got the correct total for the frequency there. And now the next part asks what's the highest number of siblings, and you can see the highest number of siblings of course is 5, so the highest number of siblings is 5 siblings. So in this case the score really represents the number of siblings, and the highest number of siblings would be 5. The next part C, says what was the mode, and in brackets the most frequent score. So the mode, whenever you see that, that actually equals the most frequent score. In other words, what score had the highest frequency? And when you look at this here, you can see straight away the highest frequency is 10. The answer would be wrong if you were to put 10, because the question is saying what was the score that has the highest frequency. In other words, when we're talking about the mode, we're talking about a score that occurs most often. And in this case, the score that occurs most often will be 1. So the answer here will be 1, because 1 occurs 10 times, and the answer has to be given in terms of the score, not in terms of the frequency. A common mistake people make, but please beware not to make that mistake. The next part of this question asks us to construct a sector graph of this data. To construct a sector graph of this data, we need to work out what fraction each of these numbers makes of a circle. This will give us the angle size. So if I make another column and call it angle size, then we can work out what is the angle size of each of these frequencies. So in working out the angle size, you work out the fraction, which will be what portion is 5 of the total, which will be 5 over 40, multiplied 360 degrees. That will give us the angle size, because we're really looking for the portion of our pie chart or of our sector graph, and this will give us then the number of the angle size that we need to construct. So using the calculator, we have 5 multiplied by 360 divided by 40, and we're told that this will be an angle of 45 degrees, and we do that for each one. So this will be 10 over 40 times 360, which will be 10 divided by 40 times 360 is 90 degrees, and I will do that for all of them and come back to you in a minute. Having completed the angle size from my frequencies, now I can construct a sector graph, which will be using a protractor, and I won't have the protractor to show you, but we'll start from a horizontal line, and we'll work out 45 degrees for a score of frequency of 5, which will be 0 siblings. So this will be 0 siblings. The next will be 90 degrees, and this will be for 1 sibling. Then 72 degrees, and normally you would show the degrees, and this is for 2 siblings. Then 81 degrees, doesn't look like 81, I'll make it a bit bigger. Degrees for 3 siblings, and then 45 degrees for 4 siblings, and we're left with 27 degrees, and if done correctly with a protractor, that will look more accurate. And this is for 5 siblings. So I recommend that to use a protractor. Once you've worked out your angle size, use your protractor to work out each one of these angles, and you mark them as I've shown here.